at the RP Funding Center as we get ready to kick off the first conference semifinal game in the MASL and the second postseason game. One play-in game has already taken place. That was Wednesday night out west, and perhaps a bit of an upset as the Mesquite Outlaws traveled to Tacoma to take on the Stars, and Mesquite, coached by indoor soccer legend Tattoo, came back to the Lone Star State with a win, 9-6. So Mesquite is on to the conference semifinals in the West. In fact, they will play tonight against San Diego at Mesquite Arena. One of 3 games in the league tonight. We'll kick it off, as we said, here with the Blast and the Tropics. The Sockers and Outlaws will start about an hour after this one, and then a 9:05 Eastern Time start. The battle for supremacy south of the border as the Chihuahua Savage and Monterey Flash will do battle in the other Western Conference semifinal. Here in the East, it could not have been much tighter. The Milwaukee Wave took the regular season championship by just a point over both the Blast and the Tropics. Milwaukee finishing the regular season with 42 points, the Tropics and Blast with 41 each, but the Baltimore Blast get the home field advantage, winning the second seed in the East in a tiebreaker. And actually, Milwaukee had 45, not 42 points. They won their last game, so they did win it not handily. They had to sweat it out right to the final part of the last weekend of the regular season, but the Blast and Florida Tropics did finish in a flat-footed tie for second in points with 41. They both had 12 regulation wins, and the next tiebreaker was overall wins. And because Florida had 5 games go into overtime this year, the Blast actually had one more regulation win than did the Tropics. So that's why they get home field advantage, so to speak. And home field will be tomorrow night. This is a back-to-back affair between the Tropics and the Blast. And should the two teams split the first 2 games, then they will play the dreaded 15-minute knockout game immediately following the conclusion of Game 2 at the CQ Arena tomorrow night in Baltimore. And that's why teams like to have home field advantage in the playoffs, although Milwaukee, because of arena dates and lack thereof up at their arena in Milwaukee, they will actually be home for their first game, and that will be against the winner of the Utica-Kansas City play-in game, which isn't going to happen until Monday night in Utica. So the Tropics and Blast, that series will be concluded, and that will mean actually that the winner of this series will have next weekend basically off. They will not play next weekend. Milwaukee will be playing against either Kansas City or Utica. So a little bit of reward for the winner in this series, I think, because this time of year, a week's rest is not the worst thing. Everyone comes in a little dinged, a little banged up, and that is true of both of these teams, although I think in many ways both of these teams are as healthy as they have been all year. We know Baltimore is already in playoff mode. That game in Utica last week against Utica City was just a intense, exciting, playoff-type game, so Baltimore kind of feels like they've been in playoff mode for maybe 2 or 3 weeks now. The Tropics, not so much. They haven't had to battle for much. They did secure a 3rd spot with a win last weekend against St. Louis, but then played a game on Sunday against St. Louis last Sunday, which really was kind of a meaningless game. But the Tropics did play well, especially in the second half, to try and lay a foundation to move into this weekend series. Let's take a look at some of the keys to the game tonight, and probably keys for the entire series, to be very honest with you. If you're the Florida Tropics, ready, set, score. One thing in the playoffs that really gets highlighted is how well you do on set pieces, restarts, and the Tropics have not been especially great in that department. A lot of that has to do with not having Victor Pereras for 2 months. He is back. He is looking good, looked as good as he has any time since he's been back in that doubleheader weekend series a week ago against St. Louis. So we'll see if Victor Pereras can really key some restart opportunities in the Baltimore end that will result in some easy goals. That could be a key for the Tropics. And number 2, Hugo, the X factor in this series. Hugo Silva is, of course, back in goal. Just his 4th game since his visa issues were resolved. We'll talk more about the goaltenders as we move along, but statistically, he's as good as anyone in the MASL. Might have been on his way to MASL Goalkeeper of the Year honors a season ago before the Visa Monster reached up and ended his year 9 games into the season, but he was tremendous early last year. He's been tremendous pretty much throughout his entire Florida Tropics stay. So Hugo Silva in goal tonight for the Tropics, and he will be a huge key both tonight and assuming he plays tomorrow night at the CQ Arena. If you're the Baltimore Blast, keys to the game, well, get up for the man down. They have not been very good on special teams, especially when they are on the penalty kill. In fact, just 48% during the regular season. Almost shocking. Their power play was as good as their penalty kill. Their power play was pretty good, 47%. You'll take that just about any day of the week. But penalty kill at 48%, that is not good at all. And they are going to have to be better on the penalty kill in this series, I think, if they are going to win it. Conversely, by the way, the Tropics, the number 1 penalty kill unit in the entire league at 77%. And number 2, get your fill of William Van Zela. Still absolutely one of the best in the game. In fact, got one of my votes this week as broadcasters and team executives got to vote on awards, postseason awards that will be announced in the coming weeks. And behind Boris Pardo, I didn't think there was anybody in the game better than William Van Zela. He has been a stalwart in goal for many years for Baltimore, and quite frankly, I thought maybe last year he had lost a little bit, and Mike Zierhofer might really push him for the number 1 spot in goal. Well, William came back with a tremendous year this year, proved me wrong certainly, and he will need to be big, and he is playoff tested. We'll look at some of his numbers, especially in the postseason. Of course, he was in goal when the Tropics came into the MASL 7 seasons ago now, and that's when the Blast were on their run of 3 consecutive championships. So William Van Zela is one of the gold standards in goal, and he will get the start here tonight for Baltimore, even though Mike Zierhofer is a very good backup. And in fact, Mike had the only shutout in the entire MASL this past season, so it gives you an idea of the fact that should something happen to Van Zela, the Blast are in good hands with Mike Zierhofer if he is called upon. The Tropics do have a couple of injuries of note. Rafa Alves, the MASL leader in blocks this year, who had just a tremendous season with 59 blocks, is out. He has an MCL injury. Did actually get a chance to talk to him before the game. Actually says the knee is recovering fairly well, and he is hopeful that if the Tropics are able to get deeper into the playoffs, the conference finals, especially with that week off, that he might not be done for the year. And no Lucas Teixeira on defense as well. We'll tell you why in just a minute. Right now we will step aside for our national anthem. Ready to rock and roll here in Lakeland on a Friday night. It was 93 degrees outside when I got to the arena about an hour and a half ago. So it is toasty outside, and we expect things to heat up rather quickly here this evening. The Tropics and Blast each scoring 141 goals during the regular season. The big difference is Baltimore allowed just 101 goals for a goal differential of plus 40. The Tropics, despite having some of the better defenders in the game, with Chad Vandegrift second in the league in blocks and Drew Ruggles sixth behind Rafa Alves, gave up 134 goals, so they come in with just a goal differential of plus 7. A couple of key players for the Tropics. Vinny Dantas comes in as the leading goal scorer. He, of course, made most of his bones in this league as a member of the Baltimore Blast. Signed in the offseason last year as a free agent with the Tropics, and he would love nothing more than to look across the way, see some old friends, and give them a little payback tonight and tomorrow. Ricardo Carvalho, the leading point getter for the Tropics, he has 34 on the season, but in a goal-scoring drought, has not had a goal in the last 5 games played, and I think Ricardo is going to have to get on the score sheet this weekend in order for the Tropics to advance. He's been good in terms of setting players up for assists in the last 3 games, but he really needs to be a goal scorer as well, and look for Ricardo Carvalho maybe to have a good weekend. Lucas Roque leads a very, very good offense as we see Will Van Zela and Vinny Dantas exchanging a hug and hello out at the center line, as we said, teammates for many years. Roque comes in with 30 goals scored this year, 47 points. So he is one that if you're a Tropics defender, you just have to keep know where he is at all times and just make sure you don't give him a good look. But a very balanced offense. Jonatas Mello comes in with 39 points. Moises Gonzalez third on the team in goals and points with 17 goals and 28 points. In fact, Mello with 39 points, 19 assists, led the Blast offense. And of course, Tony Donatelli, who is the Blast's active all-time leading goal scorer against the Florida Tropics, comes in with 28 points, and he dressed for just 19 games. This will be the 18th overall meeting between the Tropics and the Blast, but if you're a Tropics fan, a lot of reason for optimism, because since the 2018-19 season, Florida is 6-2 against Baltimore during the regular season, and the Tropics have won 4 in a row up at CQ Arena. So whatever the secret sauce is for playing on the small field up in Towson, the Tropics seem to have been able to figure it out, winning 4 in a row up there. So no idea how this series will play itself out. Ray Briggs, the great play-by-play guy of the Utica City FC, said it would be a 5-team fist fight in the East, and I think he's exactly right. I think any result and for any of these series is not going to be unexpected. The Tropics, at least on paper, with the predictions from some of the broadcasters around the league and the new odds that are being posted now online, if you live in a certain state, you can actually bet now on the MASL, and they list the Tropics as underdogs as well, but that's all right. The Tropics don't mind that role whatsoever, and certainly not big underdogs by any stretch, as Diegues tries to keep it alive as Venzela came out. Now Kyle Williams on the intercept. Williams has it taken away briefly by Roque. Now Ruggles with it back. Ruggles down to Kyle Williams. Obasi steps in and tries to get it back to Vanzela. And Obasi gonna dribble out of the zone, and on the hold, Drew Ruggles going to be called. Tugged a little jersey there as Obasi went by.
Tropics now, number 16, Drew Ruggles, is first.
Put in play by Jeremy Rayleigh. Vanzela, who kind of surprising this year, didn't actually pick up an assist. Goaltenders often can do that at CQ Arena because of that small field size, but neither Zierhofer or Van Zela had assists this year. Steal now by Arico. Anthony Arico down the near boards. Arico with a shot, and that is well wide. First time Anthony has been on the floor in about a month and a half. He had an MCL sprain and has been working to recover ever since, and first potential good opportunity, but not the kind of strike that Anthony was looking for. Here's Carvalho with it, leaves it for Ruggles. Trying to get it down to Dantas. Good step up then by Ruggles to make the steal. Ruggles going to come down, take the shot. Oh, right off the crossbar by Ruggles. He had Van Zela beat cleanly. Hit the underneath of the crossbar and stayed out. Ruggles, the second leading goal scorer for Florida this year, and almost gave the Tropics an early lead. Now Espinal gets it ahead to Carvalho. Carvalho's got some room to operate. Now Van Zela going to come out. Still loose in there. Here's Espinal stepping up, and Carvalho will control. Carvalho turnaround shot. That never got through. I think it hit his own man Dantas. Back to Mike Jones, acquired earlier in the year in a trade with the Dallas Sidekicks. He's been very good defensively for the Tropics as well, as Hugo Silva will direct some traffic. Gets it down to Dantas. Dantas, a former playoff MVP, tried to set it up for Kyle Williams or Victor Pereira in front. Neither could find it. Max Ferdinand. Where's the headband? Going to head to the bench. Ferdinand with a long and storied history in the league, a lot of that time with the Milwaukee Wave, but earlier in his career with the Blast, back now with Baltimore the last couple of seasons. Chad Vandergriff, here's a run and a save by Silva as Mike Diesel got open. Now off in front to Diesel off the boards, and he wasn't able to control it. So Baltimore with its first great look as somebody lost Mike Diesel on the run there. And as close as these games probably will be, it's literally going to be just one or two mistakes like that that'll be the difference. Blocked by Vandergriff. Roque tried to turn and fire. Outletted near boards to Obasi, who's got some space. Picked up by Pereiras. Continues to look better and better, coming back from a quad injury that kept him out for more than 2 months. Such a big part of the restart unit, which I think will be so key for the Tropics in this series. Tropics with a 3-on-2 counter here if they can hurry. Dieguez with it. Dieguez had a bouncing ball and couldn't get it over to Breno Oliveira, and now a 2-on-2 the other way for Baltimore, and they will swing it back out as Donatelli, or rather Pereira, wants a line change. This is Donatelli with it. 15 career goals against the Tropics. Overall, Baltimore leads the series 10-7, but much of that came in their championship years. The first 3 years the Tropics were in the MASL before they really started beefing up their roster. As we said, since that point, 2018-2019 season, Florida is 6-2 in 8 regular season meetings against Baltimore, including 4 in a row at CQ Arena. Here's Arico. And Dieguez didn't know the ball was coming his way as Tropics were going on a line change. Ruggles plays it back to Lucas Monaleras. No Lucas Teixeira tonight, no Rafa Alves if you're just tuning in. A couple of key defensive losses for Florida, but healthy otherwise, everybody up front that they want. Here's Tavernese, tried to get it to Varela. Ruggles picks it up at the midfield circle. Looking for Tavernese down low, off the boards. Varela keeps the possession for Florida, back out to Monaleras now. Tavernese with it. Tavernese, oh, he just missed the header as Carvalho cruised to the back post. Carvalho trying to create a turnover deep in the Baltimore end. Good defensive play there by the Blast. They will be able to get it out of their zone. Rayleigh with it. Over to Obasi. Tavernese on Obasi. Cardenio Sobrera out, had a nice year, 17 points for the Blast. Played a couple seasons here in Lakeland. Haven't seen, I don't think, Jake Schindler on the floor yet. Actually played a few games here during the COVID season and spent this year as the head coach of the Rochester Lancers in M2. And Soccer Sam is in the house tonight, owner of the Lancers, and we'll have him as a halftime guest. Off the boards in front, Silva just going to clear the area here. Rochester just missing out on the M2 playoffs, but great to have them back in action. Sold out every one of their games up in Rochester this year, and we'll talk with Soccer Sam about it at halftime, but we're a long way from there, halfway through the first quarter right now. Scoreless between the Tropics and the Blast. Back with more in just a moment. You're watching the Ron Newman Cup playoffs on MASL TV on Twitch.
We are the Bond Clinic.
We are your medical services.
Comprehensive, personalized, state-of-the-art healthcare designed to serve you and your family.
We are community.
For over 70 years, the Bond Clinic physicians and our team of specialists deliver expert treatments and outstanding care. With over 90 providers, from pediatrics to diabetic care, lab services to sports medicine, we put your health first. Healthcare excellence in our community. The Bond Clinic.
Wi-Fi Money, a proud sponsor of Florida Tropics Soccer.
We believe everyone can compete in the arena. Make the play. And score the winning goal. Because the heart of a champion lives in all of us.
Scoreless here in Lakeland. The best chance so far, Drew Ruggles kissing one off the crossbar as he had William Van Zala beat, but missed by just a couple of inches. Baltimore with a couple of good-looking opportunities that didn't really result ultimately in shots on Hugo Silva, but Mike Diesel had shaken free for a very good look. Intercept by Josh Hughes and then taken away by Williams, and this will be a restart for the Tropics. William Van Zala winning his 100th career game in the MASL back in February. Has a career goals against average really remarkable of .399. Foul back out at the midfield area.
Foul on the Blast, number 25 is first.
It was against Ferdinand. Here's Pereiras. Off the boards in front. Dantas couldn't convert as he got a foot on it, but it was right there at William Van Zala's feet as well, and Van Zala made the save. So second really great opportunity for the Tropics, and that has been, finishing has been a problem much of the year. Tropics have created chances, they just have been somewhat unlucky at times trying to finish. That one rolls harmlessly to Silva. Long ball down to Diegues. Diegues takes a shot, goal! Well, Van Zala would like that one back, and we'll see on the replay. He came off his line, and he really didn't need to, I don't think. And then kind of got caught betwixt and between, and Diegues was able to slot it far post. But I think if Will just plays that normally, and there you see he came out and then decided against it, took a couple of steps back towards goal, but it was too late. Diegues able to find space to the far post, and the Tropics lead at 1-0.
Tropics fans, can I get one clap and a woo?
Steal by Oliveira, and that'll go over the boards and out of play. Breno shaken up as he and Obasi came together.
Foul on the glass by number 7.
Obasi's actually going to be whistled for the foul. And now a delay warning, I think, issued against Baltimore. David Baskin, their head coach.
A bench warning has been given to the Baltimore Blacks.
Well, actually, they called it a bench warning, not a delay warning. Vandegrift starts it down for Dantas, tried to bang it in front to Carvalho. Van Zale is just going to clear the area. Silva with it. Downloaded Vinny. Dantas leaves it, trying to get it in front. Little give and go for Dantas, couldn't convert. Oh, there's a shot to the face by Roque. Rico went down hard, and I don't know if Clay Roberts wants to use his challenge early, but that was clear elbow and arm to the face. Not an advocate of using the replay challenge early, and the officials aren't going to take a look. I don't see a challenge out there. And don't blame Clay Roberts for keeping that challenge pocket in his flag just because you want it later in the game in a potentially more critical situation. Silva going to range well off his line here and send it all the way back down, looking for Dieguez, who got a toe poke in on it and just missed. Again, almost picked Vanzela's pocket. Baltimore with one significant injury. Their defenseman Adriano Dos Santos out. Here's Ricardinho with it. Ricardinho off the boards in front, headed away by Varela. Carvalho dumped, he'll head to the bench on a line change. These teams played 3 times during the regular season. Tropics won 2 of them, but they were the first 3 of the first 4 games the Tropics played this year. It was all the way back in December. Redirect try by Williams in front off the shot by Dantas. Roque going to track it down far side. He's dangerous from anywhere. Shot, Silva knocks it away. Ricardinho will collect the rebound, keep the possession going for Baltimore. Tropics won up in Baltimore in early December and then lost here on the 21st. Oh, great save on the shot there as Silva gets the left hand on it as Pereira let it fly from the yellow line. Easily Hugo's best save of the game. I mean, that was a crack from 50 feet out, and Silva, who has been playing professionally down in Brazil, futsal. So when he came back 3 games before the end of the regular season, he was in great soccer shape and great physical shape overall. It's the best shape I have seen him in his entire time here with the Tropics, and no rust at all in terms of a soccer sense. And you could see that one on that last save right there. Here's Oliveira with it. Breno going to be knocked down. And a foul against Baltimore.
Baltimore blast down number 78.
Here's Oliveira in front. Dieguez on the rebound. Vanzela comes out again. Dieguez got in a little tight as that one came off the glass hot. Dieguez looking for a header. Now a takeaway. Here's Dieguez over to Oliveira, and Vanzela makes the save. Hot and heavy action here in Lakeland with inside 4 minutes to go first quarter. Good quarter for the Tropics. Here's Ruggles, at least so far. Gets it over to Monaleras. Monaleras going to try and push forward, has it taken away by Roque. That's bounced out of play. It'll be a kick in for Florida. So both Vanzela and Silva coming up big here in the last couple of minutes. But we expected that, and we'll see it all weekend long. Gonna stay and play at will. No handball called. Tropics fans not happy about that. Carvalho with it. Ryan Sigich, our official tonight. Here's Dantas. Dantas shot. Oh, he just misses far post. Dantas with that signature turn and strike just missed. How many times have fans in Baltimore seen that move? Vanzela knows it well. That's a three-line pass. Goaltenders can throw it over all three lines if they have the arm, but they can't kick it over all three. If you're somewhat new to the indoor game, it's about the only rule I tell new fans they really need to know, because otherwise it's a pretty easy game to understand. Here's Ruggles. Not a good ball over to Pereiras. Intercepted easily by Mello. Left side to Cabrera. Diegas and Pereiras trying to take it away. Finally Dantas with it. Dantas gets it ahead for Diegas. Diegas has Pereiras with him. Here's Victor. Victor going to tee it up. Saved by Vanzela. Not as good a shot as Victor would have liked. Through ball to Cabrera, but he's at the end of a shift. Varela comes out. Here's Ruggles over to Tavernisi. Joey off the boards. Actually, Vanzela got a piece, and then he tried to head it in front to Varela. And Vanzela was able to stop that one. 1:50 to go here, first quarter. 1-0 Tropics. Vanzela going to send it midfield circle. Varela going to try and track it down from Ferdinand. Does. Gets it to Ruggles. Now to Varela. Back to Vandergrift. Tropics want to change on the fly here. Vandergrift directs a little traffic. Gets it to Oliveira. Breno with it. Ferdinand gets it ahead to Pereira, who is down on the near boards thanks to a little contact from Mike Jones. First on Jones. 4 fouls on the same player in a half is a blue card, so you always want to try and keep advantage or keep track of that. I don't know if we have anyone with 2 fouls yet or not. We'll check at the break. Final minute here in Lakeland. Been a very entertaining first 15 minutes. As we said, though, expected nothing less. Diegas going to try and track it down in the corner. Pereira gets there first. Now here's a shot. Carvalho on the turnover. Diegas comes in. Here's a Rico, and that's going to be a corner kick for the Tropics as it banged off Pereira. So first set piece opportunity for Florida here. And I am of the belief the Tropics are going to need a couple 3 set-piece goals this weekend if they're going to win this series. Here's Ruggles, back to Carvalho, and not sure what the Tropics did wrong there, but they were whistled and they're going to give it away. May have been that was against Ruggles, and that's his second, so there's at least one player with 2 fouls here in the half. Depending on when you get to 3, very often you just sit the bench for the rest of the half just not to even chance the blue card. Here's Obasi with it, still 12 seconds to go. Chance for the blast. Santana going to tee it up, but that's an easy one right to Hugo Silva, and the first quarter clock is going to run out. on a very entertaining 15 minutes here in Lakeland tonight. Hope you're enjoying it all on Twitch. It's the Tropics 1, the Blast no score. Back with second quarter action in just a moment. You're watching the Ron Newman Cup Playoffs on MASL TV on Twitch.
We are the Bond Clinic.
We are your medical services.
Comprehensive, personalized, state-of-the-art healthcare designed to serve you and your family.
We are community.
For over 70 years, the Bond Clinic physicians and our team of specialists deliver expert treatments and outstanding care. With over 90 providers, from pediatrics to diabetic care, lab services to sports medicine, we put your health first. Healthcare excellence in our community. The Bond Clinic.
Happy birthday, Kimberly.
Alt Sports Data is the official sports data partner of the Major Arena Soccer League. Alt Sports is a San Diego-based leader in trading and consumer data for action, alternative, and emerging sports, and they have made the Baltimore Blast, I guess, the favorite in this series. They have posted odds as fans in certain states, not Florida, actually I think Maryland may be one of them, but not Florida yet. Don't understand the plus-minus money line odds at all, so I had to look it up, and all I could really determine is if you're a plus team, then like the Tropics were plus 115, whatever that means, you're the underdog, and Baltimore was a minus 145, which if you're a minus, according to the Google machine that I saw, that makes you the favorite. So Alt Sports Data, at least, thinks Baltimore is the favorite, and I know all 6 broadcasters that the MASL surveyed about first-round results all picked Baltimore as well. But as we said, the Tropics don't mind that underdog role one bit. Want to see a game live? Visit Sports Illustrated Tickets for the best tickets to see the MASL action in your favorite arenas now with no fees at checkout. And if you get action like we had in that first quarter, it'll be well worth visiting SITix.com. Just one goal in that quarter by Ricardo Dieguez. Tropics out shooting the Blast 12-7. For Dieguez, his 13th goal of the year, by the way. Has only played in 12 games.
Alrighty, Tropics fans, let's get this second period going.
Another one that missed some of the early part of the season because of visa issues, became eligible much earlier than Hugo Silva, but both very important cogs here for the Tropics heading into the postseason. Drew Ruggles, by the way, picked up the assist on the only goal of that quarter at 8:32. By the way, I think SITix is sponsoring a contest online. If you're watching on Twitch and in the chat room, I can't tell you how to do it because I am a technological nightmare. But did see in the chat that somehow SITix is giving away, I think it's a $100 ticket voucher. So hopefully you're a little more technologically advanced than I am and can figure out how to do that. But thanks to SITix. One more way to make this Ron Newman Cup playoffs a little more special. Had the thrill of interviewing Ron Newman, probably one of the last interviews he ever did. Came here for a playoff game a couple of seasons ago. And not really in great health then, and he was able to work his way up to our broadcast location, and what a thrill personally to be able to talk with Ron. I know his daughter Tracy lives over in the Tampa area, only about 45 minutes away, and I know she and her family were able to come not only to that game where Ron was in town when the Sockers were in town, but also when the Tropics made the finals last year. Long ball down, headed out of there by Silva. Kyle Williams almost had his pocket picked. Keeps the play alive. Williams leaves it for Ruggles. Williams trying to push forward, double team, going to lose it. Donatelli and Ferdinand on the defensive effort. Now here's Donatelli left side. Picked up by Vandegrift, second in the MASL in blocks this year, the defending MASL Defender of the Year. Baltimore wants a little possession time here. Tropics had most of it in the first quarter. Kind of quarter they really wanted to play. Mello with it. Intercepted by Vandegrift. Chad doesn't have anybody making a run out of the area. Diegas finally did, but Obasi was able to make the easy intercept. Tropics not working very hard off the ball there. Here's Donatelli with a shot. That never got through. It's either Vandegrift or Diegas that got a piece of it. Maybe both. Donatelli. Okay, leaves it back midfield to Mello. Now Obasi with it as Donatelli had a touch as well, and he'll head to the bench for a line change. Ruggles on the easy intercept. Vandegrift with it. Little trouble. Look out. Giveaway. This is dangerous. Sobrero with it. Ricardinho. Tropics get back and will force the ball back out to the midfield line. Now Ricardinho with it again. Going to play it off the boards in front. Rather Roque a little late in getting there. Now Roque and Tavernese, and this is going to be a... Is this going to be a top of the arc restart or a restart from the far boards? It'll be a restart from the far boards. One off Carvalho, but it was a deflection. Obasi with it on the restart. Scott Raley all alone out at the top of the formation. Obasi trying to create some space. Josh Hughes will pick it up. Ricardinho. Raley sends it deep into the right corner for Roque. He's going to be double teamed. Going to see that a lot tonight. Tropics trying to get it out of the zone. Rico got it ahead for Carvalho, but there were two blast defenders back, and Obasi finally picked it up. Both Vanzela and Hugo Silva making big saves in that first quarter. Not that Baltimore had a lot of shots on goal in that first quarter, as some of the fans in the Twitch chat are noting, but Hugo Silva did have a couple of excellent saves. Looking for Donatelli. Oliveira can't come up with it. It'll be Tropics possession here at the midfield circle. And Mike Jones will do the honors. Donatelli pushed off, or rather, Dantas pushed off the ball by Jake Schindler, making, I think, maybe his first appearance, and he's going to head to the bench. Here's some space now for Mello, and then had a little bobble with it. Fortunate for the Tropics because he had some room to operate. Donatelli collects over to Pereira. Little turn and an easy save by Silva as Roque sent the worm burner in on the near post. Not sure what Diegas was trying to do there. Here comes Varela. Nice ball from Diegas, and Vanzela that time made a good decision to come off his line and snuff that chance out. All Varela could do was a little toe poke right into in Zella's chest. Here's Diegas. Morella with it. Tropics looked like they could have had numbers up there, but they were at the end of a shift as well. So Diegas and Varela head off. Tavernisi, Pereiras come on, as does Ricardo Carvalho. Ruggles with it. Victor, the captain, Victor Pereiras. All kinds of milestones possible tonight for the Tropics. We'll tell you about some of them. Here's Ruggles, and that one is high and wide. Hugo Silva, in fact, already has reached a milestone, playing now in his 5,000th career minute in the MASL tonight. Drew Ruggles needs a goal to reach 50 in his Tropics career. Diegas now just 2 points away from 150 points in a Florida uniform. That one sent out of play, so the Tropics will get possession here. Well, the fact that Florida scored first, a good indication maybe of good things to come. Tropics are 61-21. Here's Oliveira trying to play it off the boards. Gets it over to Dantas. Dantas going to be watched in there. Now a couple of players in. Diesel was the first one in. Vandegrift will take it from Mike Jones. Tropics are 61-21 in their franchise history when scoring the first goal. Arico with a takeaway. Here's Arico, has that shot blocked by Obasi. Obasi gets by Arico here. Ahead to Patrick Thompson, taking, I think, maybe his first shift of the game as well. Both teams sending some fresh troops out there. Thompson leaves it off for Donatelli. And Zayla gonna send it over the boards and out of play. And is that going to be our media timeout? It will be. So 7:50 to go here in the first half, and Lakeland still the Florida Tropics 1, Baltimore no score. You're watching the Ron Newman Cup 2023 playoffs on MASL TV on Twitch.
We are the Bond Clinic.
We are your medical services.
Comprehensive, personalized, state-of-the-art healthcare designed to serve you and your family.
We are community.
For over 70 years, the Bond Clinic physicians and our team of specialists deliver expert treatments and outstanding care. With over 90 providers, from pediatrics to diabetic care, lab services to sports medicine, we put your health first. Healthcare excellence in our community. The Bond Clinic.
Reader's Digest version is they have 10 championships in a history that dates all the way back to 1980-81 when the Houston Summit became the Baltimore Blast in the MISL. Corner kick coming up here for the Tropics. Comes back, Pereiras looks for a shooting lane and can't find one, as Pereira stepped in the way of that one. Now Monaleris going to catch a piece of one of the Tropics players. That is Pereira, who one of the noted divers in the MASL. Maybe not quite Gordy Gerson class, but close.
Tropics now, number 90, Lucas Montoleris is second.
Second foul on Monaleris, by the way. And did the Blast throw the challenge flag here? I think they may have. They did. So Ryan Sigich and crew will take a look here. Ryan, the senior referee, Mark Kadlicek, the other official on the floor, will take a look. I don't think there was much question there was contact, but just how severe it was is really the question. And no blue card. Didn't think so, but good news for the Tropics is Baltimore has used their challenge and have done so unsuccessfully. So they will no longer have a challenge in this game. Clay Roberts kept his flag in his pocket on a contact play up above the shoulders in the first quarter. So Tropics will still have their challenge remaining. Mello with it. Tried a little give and go there with Pereira. Monaleris knocks it back out to Diesel. Santana gets it back to Diesel now. Hughes with it. Diesel over to Pereira. Pereira gonna take a shot, and Ruggles steps in the way of that one.
Tropics fans, as a friendly reminder, we ask you please stay alert during the game of play for the ball flying into the stands. Your safety is our first priority. Thank you for your cooperation.
Anthony Arrico on the chase. Donatelli takes it out near the midfield line. Pereira with it. Roque has it taken away. Arrico, dangerous ball there to the middle of the field. Look out, shot. Ruggles with the block on Pereira. It was almost a dangerous turnover. Donatelli waits for some reinforcements off the Baltimore bench. Comes in the form of Patrick Thompson. Back to Santana. Back to Donatelli. Blast captain. Ruggles sends it back to the Baltimore yellow line where Hughes picks it up. Donatelli gets it ahead to Moises Gonzalez, who misses short side. Gonzalez kind of reminiscent of another target forward, Vinny Dantas. Obasi gets by his man deep into the corner. Redirect try in front by Gonzalez. Tavernese with a good defensive play. Moises didn't get quite on it what he wanted to, but Tavernese was there to make sure there was nothing else going to happen. Varela 1 against 3 here. Going to pressure Manzella. Calm, cool, and collectively gets it out of the Baltimore zone. Now Varela with another turnover. Good shift by Varela. And he'll head to the bench. Tropics fans and bench appreciative of Varela's work.
Come on, Tropics fans, it's getting loud and it's getting crazy. So make some noise!
Vandegrift sends it into the Baltimore end of the field. Takeaway by Carvalho. Pereira, here's Carvalho's shot right on. Vanzella makes the save. Carvalho trying to keep it alive. Battling in there with Rayleigh. Now about 4 of them in there. Vandegrift gets it in front. Going to come out to Ruggles. Ruggles gets it for Dantas, and then interference run by Max Ferdinand there. Took Ruggles down. So it'll be a restart right at the yellow line. Let's see if Victor maybe sees a little space, and he did, and sends it 3/4 of the way to Chevy Chase. So another restart opportunity missed by the Tropics. Great to see Gordy Gerson in the chat. Here's a 2-on-1 for the Tropics. Here's Jones. Jones in good defensive play. Mike Jones is not an offensive defenseman by any stretch. Only had 1 goal this year, and Jake Schindler was able to make the play. Now Carvalho with a shot, and Vanzella had to be sharp there. Pereira's tried to get it in front to Diegas and knocked away. That was a sneaky little shot that Vanzella made a good save on. Tropics came in tonight wanting to shoot, and they have done just that, and Vanzella's been equal to the task so far. Here's Sobrera. Donatelli swings it over to Santana. Ahead now to Pereira. Jones on him. Pereira with a shot, just missed on the short side, and Silva dives out to cover up the rebound. Pereira doing a good job turning Mike Jones inside out there. Here's Dantas trying to get it to Oliveira, who's making a run. Breno trying to keep it alive along the far boards. He's down on the turf, as is Santana, and they say play on. Chance here for Baltimore. Right side, here's a chance. Shot off the post off the near boards is wide of the post, but it'll be a foul against the Tropics. Mello made a bid short side there and was not able to get that one on frame. But a dangerous looking chance for Baltimore, and they'll get a dangerous restart spot here if you're a Tropics fan.
Make some noise for this defensive stand.
Donatelli out there with Gonzalez. Roque, Hugo Silva a little bit shaken up maybe from that last scramble in front where he dove out to cover up a loose ball. George Navarrete, the backup tonight for Florida. Gordy Gerson and the Utica City FC in action Monday night up at the Adirondack Bank Center. Be tuned into that one for sure, as they will meet the Kansas City Comets in a play-in game. Shot and a goal. Donatelli got it through traffic into the far corner, and Baltimore on the board here to tie it 1-1. Restarts, restarts, restarts. Baltimore hasn't had many, and the Tropics with only a two-man wall. Not sure why they actually only went with a two-man wall there. But it certainly created enough space for Donatelli, and I think Hugo looking over to the bench wondering the same thing. That was essentially a top-of-the-arc restart, and almost always you see teams with three players on the wall, but the Tropics only had two. And Donatelli, the veteran, taking advantage. Don't forget, Soccer Sam Fantuzzo will be our guest at halftime. We'll also have Alex Bastjavansky with MASL at the half. Sam, the owner of the Rochester Lancers, who came back to life indoors this year in Major Arena Soccer League 2, sold out all their home games up at East Rochester this year and just did miss out on the playoffs. Baltimore looks like they've got a little more pep in their step after that restart goal. Now Diegas on a takeaway. Diegas, and he loses the handle. Zella will pick up that inlet attempt. Ricardinho with it. Turf Monster grabs one of the Baltimore players. Here comes Kyle Williams back, and then Williams pushed it a little too far ahead. Hughes with it. Trying to go 1-on-2 on Varela, and either Kyle Williams or Varela going to be whistled. I think maybe it might have been some interference by Kyle Williams. Hughes took a tumble. It was on Varela, actually, and it's his first. 1:27 to play here. First half in Lakeland. Game 2 tomorrow night in Baltimore, and if the two sides split the result, the 15-minute knockout game will be tomorrow night at CQ Arena immediately following the conclusion of Game 2. Well, not immediately. I think they take a 10-minute break between the second game and the knockout game, but it's not a sudden death situation, that knockout game. Tropics were in one here last year against Kansas City and won it 4-2. Not a golden goal situation if they get to what is essentially Game 3 in the series. Donatelli will survey the field. Pereira's going to be whistled for the foul. Hughes spending more time on the turf here in the last minute than he has on his feet. Pereira with it. Going to clear out the left side, will they? And Pereira going to step in. Had a shooting lane. Blast do a good job with that sometimes. Just clear the one side of the floor and let some of their players use their 1v1 skills, and Pereira had a pretty good look there. Obasi on the intercept as Silva was looking for Diegas. Now Diegas sticks a foot in there, and Obasi continues on, and Anthony Rico didn't appreciate the contact there with Obasi. Still 17 seconds to go in the half, so Baltimore with a chance here to perhaps take a late lead into the half. We'll talk with Clay Roberts at the end of the second quarter, and we hope to talk to Neto, the assistant coach of the Blast, before the start of the third. That's the plan. We'll see if it works out. Donatelli going to put it in play here. He's dangerous. Takes the shot, and don't know if that was actually a shot or a pass over to Roque. Here's Whack in front. Look out. loose ball. Vandergriff able to clear the area. 4 seconds to go. Long shot headed out of there by Ruggles, and we will head to intermission tied at 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the first half of today's playoff matchup.
So an entertaining half of soccer here in Lakeland.
Class 1-1.
Ricardo Dieguez scoring at the 8:32 mark of the first. Tony Donatelli unassisted at 12:27 of the second. And that's where we stand in a 1-1 tie. Tropics out shooting Baltimore in the game 17-16, but Baltimore with the better of the play in that second quarter, at least in terms of shots on goal, with a 9-5 advantage there. But that's only the half of it. The more to come. Sign is up here at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland. Tropics 1 and Blast 1. Clay Roberts having a quick conversation with Ryan Sigich and crew as he works his way over to the bench area as we get a chance to say hello to Tropics head coach Clay Roberts. And coach, pretty good first half. I think kind of what we expected. The intensity was high, the chances were high, the goaltending was great. Did you see anything that surprised you in that half?
No, I think the half played out exactly how we thought it would play out. High tempo, both teams getting after it. I thought it would be low scoring in the first half as well, but actually, we want to keep the tempo high. We think we can keep the tempo high the way we are. We think we're getting some goals in the second half. We got some breakout opportunities there at the end of the quarter. Just getting the ball stuck under Dieguez there, and he had Cavallo open there for maybe a 1v1 if he gets to him. But those are the little moments that we're waiting for, and we think they'll be there for us in the second half.
What's your message to the guys as you head into the third quarter?
Yeah, keep going. It's the third quarter. We got to play each quarter like we want it, and we've done that for 2 quarters. Now we just got to finish off the opportunities that we're creating and play the tough defense that we are. A little unlucky there to get the set piece, the equalize, but hey, that's soccer, and we're going to keep going.
All right, Clay Roberts, thank you for joining us. Go talk to the guys and get ready for the second half. Good luck.
Thanks, Brian.
All right, we appreciate Clay Roberts. A couple of minutes with him before he heads to the locker room. And as we said, we hope to have a chat with assistant coach Neto from the Blast at the start of the third quarter. Soccer Sam Fantuzzo is making his way up to the broadcast booth. We'll be back with MASL at the half in just a moment, and then our conversation with Soccer Sam as well. You're watching the 2023 Ron Newman Cup Playoffs on MASL TV on Twitch.
We believe everyone can compete in the arena. Make the play. And score the winning goal. Because the heart of a champion lives in all of us.
Shoot! He scores!
MASL at the half, coming right at ya. What's going on, everybody? I'm Alex Bashevansky. Welcome into our MASL studio. Hope you're loving the game so far. Tons of stuff to cover on the show today. The stakes could not have been higher last week as regular season play wrapped up, and several teams were fighting for their playoff lives.
To Pereira, who settles with his back to goal. Big Mo applying some deep pressure there. Oh, and it's Corey Keats who settles the wall, a score, a one touch into the back of the net, and just like that, the Tacoma Stars have jumped out to a 1-0 lead.
It was a painful week for the Empire Strikers. They needed to pick up just a single point over their last 2 games of the regular season. It didn't happen in game 1 against the Tacoma Stars, a team that needed a win in this game to keep their playoff hopes alive. Mission accomplished. They left Empire dejected as the Stars eked out a 4-3 win in regulation time over the boys in purple. Empire had another chance to pick up that 1 point in Mesquite on Saturday. They were facing an Outlaws squad that was reeling, having lost 5 straight, 8 of its last 10, but the Texans were also fighting for their playoff lives. They needed a win to clinch a berth. That is exactly what they got. Their big stars stepped up. Luis Morales had a hat trick. Sebastian Mendez hit the back of the net as well. Empire just could not get it together, and that led to a big celebration in Mesquite at the final buzzer.
Mesquite with a 7-2 win, and the Mesquite Outlaws qualify for the postseason.
What a great effort by the Outlaws tonight. From the very start of the match to the very end, played with discipline on both ends.
The Outlaws make it happen when the chips are down. That meant that Empire needed Dallas to stop Monterey from winning on Sunday. The Sidekicks had put up a fight 2 nights before at home, losing 5-3, but they were in Monterey for this one, and the end result was never in doubt. The Flash taking no chances. They put on an offensive clinic, taking apart the Sidekicks. Gorgeous strike right there by Luis Mendoza. Empire could only watch from a distance as what seemed like a sure playoff spot just 2 weeks ago went up in a puff of smoke. The celebration was on in Monterey as the Flash jump from 6th place in the West to 3rd on the final weekend to qualify for the postseason. 10-2 the final score in this one. Goodbye, Strikers. Hello, Flash. One more game to show you. Number 1 in the East, Milwaukee, taking on number 1 in the West, San Diego. A possible Ron Newman Cup preview. Both squads played most of their big guns, although the Sockers did rest star keeper Boris Pardo. Milwaukee hung in for a while. Tony Walls with the opener there on a lovely little back heel shot for the Wave. Despite being down 2-0, the Sockers took control from that point on. Devoy Morgan picking up yet another hat trick for the defending champs. And captain by captain, Craig Childs, whose mustache is looking more voluminous with each passing day, had 3 points as well as the blue and gold pull away in the end. They take this battle of number 1s 11-5. Other game scores to tell you about. Chihuahua edged Mesquite 10-9 in a thrilling encounter on the 30th. Florida held off a game St. Louis ambush squad 6-5 in Lakeland. Utica enters the postseason on a high, taking down Baltimore 4-3. Tacoma gave San Diego everything they could handle before losing 5-4 on the first. And Harrisburg goes down swinging in its final game of the season, falling to Milwaukee 6-5. Let's take a look at how the scoring race ended up. Nick Pereira, your points champion, was 70, followed by Frank Taillou, 16 behind. Lucas Roque with 47 points. Ian Bennett, your reigning MVP, 45 points. And Hugo Puentes with 43. Speaking of Mr. Pereira, the awards were coming in for the Tacoma legend, as yes, he is your scoring champion with 70 points. He also takes home the MASL Pass Master Award, 37 assists for Nick, who was just everywhere for the Stars this season. No question, Tacoma would not have made the playoffs without Mr. Pereira. And Frank Taillou, it was a disappointing end to his season as the Strikers, of course, did miss the playoffs. But Frank was absolutely incredible all season long. He is your MASL Golden Boot winner, 38 goals this year, many of them of the highlight variety for the man they call the King. And your play of the week, we're going back to Empire for the Tacoma goal here. Michael Ramos on his bicycle off the beautiful pass by Nick Pereira off the boards. In it goes, the acrobatics. That is your play of the week. And that's all the time we've got for today. But just remember that all throughout the playoffs, to stay up to date on everything that's going on, be sure to check out the league's social media. And of course, you can watch every single MASL game live on Twitch. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
We believe everyone can compete in the arena. Make the play, and score the winning goal. Because the heart of a champion lives in all of us.
We are the Bond Clinic.
We are your medical services.
Comprehensive, personalized, state-of-the-art healthcare designed to serve you and your family.
We are community.
For over 70 years, the Bond Clinic physicians and our team of specialists deliver expert treatments and outstanding care. With over 90 providers, from pediatrics to diabetic care, lab services to sports medicine, we put your health first. Healthcare excellence in our community. The Bond Clinic.
Center in Lakeland, and delighted to be joined by the one guy who's probably more of an indoor soccer junkie than I am, Soccer Sam Fantuzzo, the owner of the Rochester Lancers, who great to see you guys back on the floor this year. Had to warm the cockles of a lot of cold hearts up in Rochester, New York. I say that being from Buffalo, so I can tease you about the weather up there, but fantastic season to have you guys back on the floor, and I know that brings a smile to your face every time you are able to put the Lancers out there, right?
I'm so excited that we're back. M2, it was a fantastic season, year one, but I'm so happy to be here. This is the greatest game on turf, Brian, up and down. It's so exciting, this game. I mean, you got two great owners, you got two great coaches, the goalies are unbelievable. I mean, the game, back and forth, some of the saves I saw tonight, it's truly amazing what these guys could do.
Yeah, for a 1-1 game, you think, oh, that doesn't sound very entertaining, and yet we were talking off the air, you got to have a goaltender in this game, especially in the playoffs, and I'm not sure, the two we're seeing tonight, though, are definitely guys that could lead their team to a championship, right?
Definitely, two of the best in the league right now, but I mean, you know, Joey Tavernese, my boy, Jake Schindler, my boy, on the other side, JP Reyes, and we got a bunch of Rhino guys that played with the Rhinos in Rochester years ago, Drew Ruggles, Tony Donatelli, Max Ferdinand. So, I mean, that's why I'm here. I mean, Ed Hale called me this morning and said, hey, he said, hey, can I pick you up? Jump on my plane, come to the game. I'm here. I just ran into Dr. Panos, man. What a man putting this together. And the field's amazing. The building's amazing. I mean, the crowd's great for being a holiday weekend like it is. So I'm so excited about this sport.
Yeah, it's growing by leaps and bounds, and M2 had a great year. I mean, 15 teams, the competition was incredible. Talk a little bit about the Lancers' return to M2, and I know you're already looking forward to 2023-24.
Yeah, we're definitely back. I mean, Kayla Morera, she runs the team. She's done an amazing job. Jake Schindler's our head coach. We're playing in a small arena. We're really happy about the arena. It's not where we want to be, but right now that's all that's available to us. So, you know, they've been amazing to us. You know, draw around 300 fans a game. It's a little different than having 10,000 people at the Blue Cross Arena. Back when I met you back in the day with the Blizzard, I mean, you know, obviously, you know, we've gone backwards a little bit, but the sport itself, we've developed a lot of talent, and that's what we're really doing it now. Now we're just doing it to develop talent, and I'm happy about that.
Now, you know this game as well as anybody in the building. What do you see as the keys to the second half, 30 minutes to glory here for one of these two teams? What do you see as the keys?
You know, I think it's just shooting more. I think both teams just aren't shooting. A lot of playing around the box or waiting for that perfect opportunity. You just got to pop it, man. Both teams got to hit it up in the corners. I think, you know, that's where it's got to go, and we'll see what happens here. But again, you know, Brian, this sport, I mean, you know, Keith Tozer's doing an amazing job. Shep Messing, the whole group there is doing an amazing job getting this sport where it is. We got some of the best owners in the business right here in indoor American soccer. And you got MLS on the outdoor side, you got MASL on the indoor side, two of the greatest leagues in our country, and I'm so excited to be part of it in a small capacity.
Yeah, and I think you make a great point. I make the point all the time during our broadcast. They make the goals 8 feet tall and 14 feet wide for a reason, right?
Yeah, you can't score if you don't shoot, right? I mean, that's all. I think Pelé said that. You know, you can't score if you don't shoot. And we just got to shoot more. Both teams got to shoot more, and I think we'll see more goals on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I think we're going to see things open up a little bit here for sure. Back in the day when we knew each other all the way back in the late 70s and early 80s, we cut our teeth on the Buffalo Stallions. People forget the goals back then were actually only 12 feet wide and 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
So the game has evolved in that fashion, and now the 2 feet more wide and 2 feet taller. And so, yeah, I think shoot the ball. And I know that's something Clay Roberts talked about with his club before, and probably David Bascom did as well. So we are seeing the teams return to the floor for the third quarter, and I'm not sure we're going to get Neto for an interview. So, Sam, thank you for your time. Great to see you, and always welcome here at the RP Funding Center and in Lakeland.
Thanks for all you do for the game, Brian.
No problem whatsoever. It's a passion for you. It's a passion for all of us involved, and we think it's going to be a very entertaining 30 minutes of soccer here, and then who knows, 60 minutes, maybe 75 minutes, maybe more tomorrow night in Baltimore. So if you're up in the Charm City area, and I know it's a busy weekend in Baltimore. The Orioles had their home opener today. I think Bruce Springsteen is in concert in Baltimore tonight. The Eagles are in concert tomorrow night in Baltimore at the old and now refurbished Baltimore Arena, when the Blast played there for many years. And as a broadcaster, I am not unhappy that the arena is no longer the Baltimore Arena. You used to have to literally climb a ladder to get to the press box in the old Baltimore Arena. So I hope some of the tens of millions they put into the renovations there included better access to the press box. But some great memories in Baltimore for the Blast fans at the old Baltimore Arena, and now making new memories in the cozy confines of the CQ Arena, which is a great facility in and of itself, and know they will have a big crowd there tomorrow night. In fact, the Blast selling out several of their games at CQ this past season, and that is a big home court advantage, or home field advantage, if you will, for most teams that come in there. It presents the challenge of playing on such a short field, but as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Florida has won the last 4 games between these two teams in Baltimore, which is pretty surprising going all the way back to the 2018-2019 season. But a long way to go to get there tomorrow. We've still got at least 30 minutes of soccer, maybe more here tonight, as the Blast will kick it off here to start the second half. Jonah Cosmello stands over the ball, and we are underway here in Lakeland. Thanks to Soccer Sam, owner of the Rochester Lancers. Speaking of a soccer brand that goes way back, that actually goes back to the old North American Soccer League in the 60s, the Lancers. Here's Pereira in front, and Carvalho making a run. Vandegrift tries to come in there, and it'll be a corner kick, I think, or it will be a goal kick here for Benzella. I think it's going to be a goal kick. No power plays either way in this game. Been a pretty clean game. Pretty intense, pretty physical, but pretty clean overall. Did have the one challenge that was denied, so the Tropics have their challenge. Not a good distribution by Benzella as Arico lets it go and misses high and wide. Tropics do have a challenge remaining. I think that might be a change you'll see in the offseason when they review the rules and have their owners' meetings. I think they're in Milwaukee in early part of the summer, as Arico and Santana come together, and neither one of them are going to give quarter here. And be careful if you're either one, not let the emotions get the best of you. But I would suspect maybe that one of the changes coming to replay challenges would be, if it's successful, you'll get that challenge back. Arico tried to intercept there, but Obasi stepped up. Diesel with it. Kind of similar to how they do it in the NFL. Makes it a little difficult on coaches to know exactly when to use the flag. But David Bascom thought he might get a blue card in that first half and was denied on the contact above the shoulders replay. Here's a chance in front. Oh, and Mello just misses on the far post. All ahead to Varela. Diesel plays it back to Benzella. Ferdinand 3-on-1 here for Baltimore. Gets it over to Mello, and Blast did not execute that odd man opportunity to their liking. Now Oliveira gets it off the boards to Ruggles. Ruggles going to try and play it in front. Breno a little late making that run. Not really a great looking chance there like Baltimore had. Now Ferdinand comes out of the pack with it, leaves it for Obasi. Haven't seen a ton of odd man rushes in this game, but that was a clear 3-on-1 that Baltimore had. And Ferdinand, the veteran, not able to take advantage of that man-up situation. Here's Dantas. Dantas leaves it for Ruggles. Vinny, a great 1v1 player in the offensive end. Not a guy that's going to make a coast-to-coast run. Now there's Vinny with it. Dantas looking for a shooting lane. Good defensive play in there by Josh Hughes. Vinny as good as anyone in the game, 1v1 at the top of the box there. He can get the shot off so quickly. Down to Carvalho. Carvalho got in a little deep. Carvalho looking for his first goal in 6 games. Dieguez, goal! Well, we mentioned that Carvalho hasn't scored in 5 games, but he has picked up a number of assists. Had 4 in the final 3 home games of the year, and a pretty assist there to give the Tropics a 2-1 lead, and Ricardo Dieguez has his second. And Florida back on top 2-1. Zella plays it deep into the Florida end. Nice ball there to Diesel, who's got a great look and a goal. Boy, that is just exactly what you want if you're the Blast. Pretty move by Mike Diesel, not a guy that you would think of as one of the huge offensive threats for the Blast, but he quickly ties it at 2. Fact for Diesel, only his 3rd goal of the year. Played in just 8 games, was injured for a lot of the season. But Baltimore, like the Tropics, pretty healthy in terms of the roster they would like to see out there come playoff team. Both teams went through a lot of injuries during the regular season. Baltimore especially on defense. Tropics had more injuries up front, but right now the Tropics have everyone available up front that they would normally want. And Baltimore, other than DeSantos, has pretty much everyone they would want defensively. Donatelli chips it in. Silva comes off his line. Kyle Williams has it momentarily. Then gets it back on the deflection. Donatelli on Williams. Leaves it back for Vandegrift. Kyle will head to the bench. Burrell has had a good game here for Florida. Jones a little bobble. Going to try and get it down for Dieguez. Quickly back the other way, and then Vandegrift back the Baltimore way. Oliveira couldn't get the header there. Vandegrift going to win this foot race with Roque. Silva has that shot deflected, or clearing attempt deflected by Mello. Baltimore with a wholesale change here on the restart for Florida. Tropics lead, to say the least, was short-lived. Those 2 goals came just 16 seconds apart. Dieguez at 3:16, Diesel from Moises Gonzalez at 3:32. Look out here. Silva able to get in the way as Ruggles had a bobble at the midfield line. Oliveira, good defensive work. Pereira's with it. Gets it to Diegas. Diegas going to try and fight along the near boards. Santana going to be the beneficiary of that call, as Diegas says, how come that wasn't on Nelson?
Tropics foul number 19, Ricardo Diegas is first.
Zella will come off his line to send it into the Tropics end of the field. Mello will control over to Dantas now, or rather Donatelli. Shot blocked by Diegas off the foot of Patrick Thompson, but it will be a restart here for Baltimore deep in the right corner, left corner if you're looking at it, right corner for Hugo Silva's perspective. Off the boards in front. Here's Ferdinand with it at the top of the box. Has it poked away. Ruggles should be able to control and does. Gets it to Manoleras. Manoleras out to Arico. Arico bumped off the ball. Counter attack here for the Blast ends as Arico makes a good play. Up for Carvalho. And then Carvalho has his pocket picked by Roque. Roque left side to Cabrera. Midfield to Nelson. Great to see Soccer Sam at halftime on the invite of his good friend Blast owner Ed Hale. Great to see Ed here. Had a chance to say hello before the game. Manzella going to direct some traffic. Loosen the Tropics end. Possession finally to Baltimore. And Obasi will send it over to the goal scorer, Mike Diesel. Long shot by Gonzalez is off the mark. Espinal with it. He loses it right away. Baltimore with some good possession time here. Obasi will pick it up, being chased by Kyle Williams. And then sent out a play. Timeout on the floor. A goal each way, which means we remain tied. 7:29 to go, third quarter. Baltimore 2, Florida 2. You're watching the 2023 Ron Newman Cup Playoffs on MASL TV on Twitch.
We are the Bond Clinic.
We are your medical services.
Comprehensive, personalized, state-of-the-art healthcare designed to serve you and your family.
We are community.
For over 70 years, the Bond Clinic physicians and our team of specialists deliver expert treatments and outstanding care. With over 90 providers, from pediatrics to diabetic care, lab services to sports medicine, we put your health first. Healthcare excellence in our community. The Bond Clinic.
App, card, wallet, Quintas has everything you need to manage your money your way. Visit Quintas.com today to learn more. That's Quintas, Quentas.com. Don't forget, players, if you think you have what it takes to play in the MASL, sign up now to be on the league's mailing list for the 2023 MASL Pro Player Combine. Visit maslsoccer.com for more information. Hugo Silva, big night here so far, playing in just his 6th ever playoff game. Has only played 2 playoff games for the Tropics. That was in 2021. And a goals against average of .387 and a saves percentage of .733. Played 3 playoff games for the Harrisburg Heat back in 2016-2017 before coming over to the Tropics. Has been tremendous in the last 3 seasons here with Florida. Goals against average this year of .384 in his 3 games, .345 in 21-22, and .443 the year before that, and then .414 the year before that. So he has been among the league leaders the last 4 years when he has been eligible to play. And he and Vanzela has been great tonight. Here's a chance in front as Arico played it off the boards. Vandegrift steps up. Dantas gonna keep the possession alive. Here's Arico. Back to Vandegrift. Tropics will send out some fresh legs, including Ricardo Diegues, who has both of their goals so far. Down to Diegues. Taken away, Ferdinand with it. Pereira. Jake Schindler, coach of the Rochester Lancers this year. Nice board pass to Mello. Gets it back. Monolaris, though, will step in front and let it roll right to Hugo Silva. Inside 6 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Tight, tense, entertaining ball game here at the RP Funding Center tonight. Expected nothing less, and expect nothing less tomorrow in Baltimore. Carvalho with it. Trying to play it off the boards, and the handball will be called. So the Tropics will get a restart here. Pretty much the equivalent of a corner kick to the right of Vanzela. See if Florida can take advantage. One of Baltimore's goals was on a restart. Here's Ruggles, shot, Vanzela with the save. Diegues tries to crash in for the rebound, and he's going to be called for the foul. Well, you want to at least make William make a save on the restart. And Vanzela apparently a bit shaken up. Ryan Sigich, or actually Mark Kadlicek, the official down there, had started the countdown. And apparently Vanzela was a little shaken up on that last play. You talk about one of the greats in the history of this sport. Vanzela, as we said, with a .399, actually .389 career goals against average and a career saves percentage of .753. But you look back at the playoffs in that 3-year run that the Tropics had with their 3 championships. It was tremendous with 9 games and 9 starts, 6 wins in their championship season of 2016-2017. Goals against average under 5. Saves percentage over .700. Lifetime in the playoffs, and Vanzela now playing in his 37th postseason game. A goals against average in 36 playoff starts of .443 and a saves percentage of .746. Looks like we're ready to get back into action. Didn't realize he was also a citizen of Italy, has dual citizenship, and actually played for the Italian national side. I think it was in a futsal tournament about 10 or so years ago. He's the head coach at Johns Hopkins University. Yeah, was a member of the Italy's World Cup winning national futsal team back in 2011. Not much he hasn't done in the indoor game, that's for sure. Ruggles sends it deep to Dantas. Santana going to try and pick Vinny up. Dantas going to recycle it back out to the yellow line. Had Rico down low, couldn't get it through. Ruggles on the intercept. Gets it over to Arico. Arico didn't really have anybody in front. Oliveira was in the neighborhood, but Tropics seem a little sluggish here in the third quarter. Here's Ruggles, long shot. Santana got a piece of that. Rebound tried by Espinal goes wide. Not quite as sharp or... There's a long shot by Ruggles, and that's just over the crossbar. Hit the crossbar flush from distance in the first quarter. Varela with it. Can't get it teed up over to Oliveira. Oliveira tried to use the boards. Neither side apparently listening to Soccer Sam at halftime. Wants more shots on goal. Oliveira going to sprint to the bench. Down low to Diegues. Diegues has that one blocked by Santana, but then Cooley plays it back to Manzella. Griff on the takeaway. Diesel chasing him, and good defensive play by the goal scorer, Mike Diesel. And then a whistle and an injured player down for Baltimore here, right out to the midfield circle. This is the first of two, of course. It's Ricardinho, I think, that's down. And he's going to head to the bench. A little bit of a limp, but imagine we'll see him back shortly. Game 2 and the knockout game tomorrow in Baltimore if necessary. We know Game 2 will be necessary. We don't know if the knockout game will be. The other Eastern Conference semifinal won't happen till next weekend. That's because the play-in game in the East won't be till Monday night in Utica. Utica City and Kansas City. That will be must-see TV. Winner of that will advance to meet the Milwaukee Wave, who will play their first game in the conference semifinals at home, which I am assuming is because of arena availability. Used to be, and I'm not sure if it's still the same, to be honest, the teams could decide, the higher seed could decide whether to start at home or on the road. Almost always teams will elect to start on the road so they can have the second game and that knockout game on their home turf. Kyle Williams tried to slide it through to Vandergriff. Nice ball ahead of the field. This is Pereira. Pereira gets by Ruggles in front, and just missing is Mello. Nice work by Pereira to set up Jonatas Mello there. Ferdinand double teamed in the corner. Vandergriff can't get it out. Diesel does put it out of play. Ball down to Diegues. Diegues got an angle and then tried to beat Schindler. Here's Varela with the bicycle kick try, and that one never got through. Good idea by Varela. Here's Monaleras. Oliveira loses it. Ferdinand picks it up and then loses it right away to Varela. And then Diegues loses it right back to Max. Schindler will send it down, intercepted by Mike Jones. Jones keeps it alive to Oliveira. Here's Varela's shot, and Vanzella equal to the task. Rebound! Here's Dieguez, goal! Well, Baltimore unhappy that Schindler was down and injured at the midfield circle, and they wanted a whistle, and they did not get it. As play was in the offensive third, Ryan Sigich and Kadlicek going to talk it over here. But Baltimore can't challenge, but they are going to initiate a challenge anyway. The referees are allowed to do that. For the moment, Ricardo Dieguez has a hat trick. But we'll see if this one stands or not. Tropics unhappy that the officials have initiated a review here.
On the previous play.
So this is a big moment. Baltimore defense didn't do a great job picking up Dieguez. Vanzella made a couple of saves before Dieguez walked in, and the officials getting a good look at what happened out at the midfield line with Jones, who got the ball and then made contact with Schindler after the ball was away. Yeah, this is dicey. There's the first save by Vanzella. There's the second, and Dieguez has just walked in and slotted it home, and we'll see if the goal will stand or not. This may not. They are waving off the goal. So Baltimore will get a restart at the midfield line, and we stayed tied at 2. So Jones whistled for his second foul on the replay review. Santana with it. Diesel over to Cabrera, who is indeed back out there, and back to Diesel. Baltimore trying to make a run here. In front, knocked away, Carvalho with it. Carvalho trying to play it off the boards to himself. He's held up, and there's the first blue card of the game. So the Tropics will go on a power play, first of the night, for either side. And Santana going to be whistled for the, I assume it'll be holding, as Carvalho tried to play it off the boards to himself. It is indeed holding, so with 1:05 to go here in the third, the Tropics will get the power play. Florida 37% on the power play this year, just kind of average. Baltimore has not been good on the penalty kill, less than 50%. 48% on the penalty kill, that's not good at all. So let's see if the Tropics can take advantage. It'll be Ruggles, Dantas, Dieguez, Carvalho, and Pereiras out there. Carvalho with it at the yellow line. Pereiras down to Dieguez. They want quick passes. Here's Carvalho. Shot! Knocked out of there by Vanzella, who had a good look. Carvalho with it. Carvalho, Dantas did not get a good shot away. Off the boards, and Carvalho on the intercept. Dantas trying to keep it alive, gets it to Dieguez, and then going to be taken out of there by Baltimore. Carvalho and Mello collide. Ruggles with it. Minute 19 to go, man advantage. 22 seconds in the third quarter. Carvalho with it. Back to the captain Pereira, over to Ruggles. Back on top to Victor. Down to Ruggles. Back to Pereiras, and he sends that 3/4 of the way to Nokomis. Couldn't really settle the ball and wasn't able to get a good shot away. Baltimore should be able to run the final 10 seconds out here. Tropics would have about 55 seconds with a man advantage to start the fourth. And importantly, I believe they get the ball to start the fourth. Comes all the way back to Silva. Tropics going to run out of time here in the third as the horn goes, and we've got 15 minutes or more to decide it here tonight in Lakeland. It's Baltimore 2, Florida 2. Back with the fourth quarter in just a moment. You're watching the 2023 Ron Newman Cup Playoffs on MASL TV on Twitch.
We are the Bond Clinic.
We are your medical services.
Comprehensive, personalized, state-of-the-art healthcare designed to serve you and your family.
We are community.
For over 70 years, the Bond Clinic physicians and our team of specialists deliver expert treatments and outstanding care. With over 90 providers, from pediatrics to diabetic care, lab services to sports medicine, we put your health first. Healthcare excellence in our community. The Bond Clinic.
The winning goal. Because the heart of a champion lives in all of us.
Hey fans, don't forget to catch MASL Monday every Monday night on Sirius XM FC channel 157. That's at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Alex Bashkovansky is joined each week by special guests from across the league to recap the weekend's games and discuss the league's hot topics, which, of course, will be the Ron Newman Cup Playoffs. That's MASL Monday every Monday night on Sirius XM FC channel 157 at 10 o'clock. Money transfers are made easy with Quintas, powered by Western Union. Download the Quintas app today and use promo code MASL. That's Quintas, Quentas.com. Now 15 minutes to glory for one of these two teams, perhaps, or maybe more. Not that the Tropics would love to see this go into overtime. They have not been a great overtime team this year or much at all in their history. 16 times they've gone to overtime and have won just 4 of them, including a shootout loss here to Baltimore back on December 21st. As we said, these two teams have played 3 times against each other this year, but all of them were in the first month of the season. In fact, 3 of the Tropics' first 4 games were against Baltimore. Florida winning 2 and losing 1. Each team winning on the other team's home floor. The Tropics by a goal in Baltimore. Tropics on the power play here with Carvalho. And then the shootout for Baltimore's win here. Mello with the takeaway. Mello still with it, going to be able to kill some clock. So the Tropics may just see the only power play of the game either way go by the boards here. Doing a good job is Baltimore, although unlucky there. So Florida will get possession back with just 16 seconds to go in the man advantage. Gonna have to show some urgency here. Carvalho over to Dantas. Back to Carvalho. Carreras with it. Santana back on the floor. Here's Dantas trying to get it in front to Ruggles. So Baltimore kills the power play. Diegas back to Carvalho. Carreras with it. On top to Carvalho. Carvalho, good play by Santana, and Carreras sends another one halfway to the Gulf of Mexico.
Ladies and gentlemen, as a friendly reminder, we ask that you please stay aware during the game of play for the ball flying into the stands. Your safety is our first priority. Thank you for your cooperation.
Tavernese on the takeaway. Vandegrift will send it into no one in particular. Varela going to chase in the corner. Tavernese on the steal, and then he sends it out of play. Well, the Tropics trying to take shots on goal here, but have not been particularly close. Might have put a little extra air in the ball tonight. Pretty bouncy ball. Tropics haven't been able to settle as well as they would like on some of their opportunities. Vandegrift plays it down to Dantas. Vinny, another big body on him and Obasi. Nice back heel in front, but Williams had already made his run. Good idea. Off the boards, this one Jones will collect. And then Jones going to be called for the foul as Hughes went down.
Tropics foul by number 15, Mike Jones, his second.
Second on Jones in the half. Here's Obasi with it. Long shot deflected off the crossbar. Mello redirected in front, and Silva had no chance, and that one underneath the crossbar and out. Here's Oliveira with it. Oliveira, again, not close to being on goal. That crossbar has saved both Hugo Silva and William Vanzella tonight. Ruggles hit one from about 50 feet out that hit the underneath of the crossbar, and then Chris Frederick makes a good save on the Tropics bench. Not dressed tonight. And then Hugo Silva just saved there moments ago on the redirect by Mello. Again, just hitting the bottom side of the crossbar and coming out. Tried to sneak one down to Diegas, but went right to Vanzella, and Schindler back the other way for Baltimore. It's the return pass from Jonatas Mello. Deflected down to Gonzalez, but Silva had that one sniffed out. Manoleros up to Vinny. Dantas thought Carvalho was going to make a run. He did not. Nice play by Gonzalez. Look out here. Silva comes off his line, and Silva taken down, and no blue card, but it will be a foul against Gonzalez. Quick restart for the Tropics, although they're on a line change. Manoleros with it. First on Gonzalez. Down to Diegas. Thought he had the hat trick, and the go-ahead goal was waved off on a foul at the midfield circle on a referee review. Tropics still have a challenge left. Baltimore did not, but the review called by the officials. Here's Diegas. Diegas is shoved down, and that's going to be a blue card. Well, Benzella got himself in a little trouble off the line, and we'll see who goes to the box here. I don't know if it's Benzella or one of his defenders. Benzella was in the scrum. They're going to call it holding, I think. And let's see who it's going to be against. Benzella is all the way towards the penalty box here. And I think it's going to be against Benzella. So William is going to be called for the hold, pleading his case, but I don't think he's going to win it. So that means Mike Zierhofer is going to have to come off the bench if it indeed is against Benzella, and it is going to be. Well, Zierhofer is not in goal yet, but he's coming off the bench here now.
Tropics fans, we're in striking distance. It's time to make some
So it's Mike Zierhofer who pitched the only shutout in the MASL this year on for this second Florida power play of the night. Same five out there for the Tropics. Dantas, Carvalho, Pereiras, Diegues, and Ruggles. Santana out there along with Diesel. On defense, looks like Josh Hughes up front. There's a shot just wide by Pereiras. Victor with it again. Carvalho with it. Carvalho tried to use the boards to get it to Dantas, and Zierhofer will pick it up. Baltimore will play keep away now. Mello. Diegues trying to track it down. Santana will just send it back the other way. Tropics will regroup with 1:15 to go in the man advantage. Carvalho tried to get it to Diegues and stolen smartly by Santana. Not been a very good power play here at all for the Tropics. They have just not been as sharp here in the second half as they were in the first. Just no two ways about it. Taken away by Diesel. I mean, most of the possession has belonged here to Baltimore. 42 seconds to go. It only takes one, though, for the Tropics, and they still have over a half minute to go. But so far, not a very potent power play. Here's Pereiras with a shot, and that one just misses off the glass and out of play. Best look that Victor has had all evening, I think. .23 seconds to go in the penalty. So Zierhofer not at all tested here, coming off the bench on the Benzella penalty. Diegues with it. He's double teamed. He goes down. No whistle. And Baltimore going to kill off the man advantage here. So great opportunity again by the boards for Florida. Roque is back out. He was in there with Benzella, and he's going to come off the penalty box bench and almost get a chance. Just took a little bit of a high bounce. Well, you worry if you're a Tropics fan that the next blue card, if there is one, could go against you, because the only two so far in the game have been against Baltimore. Not that they weren't deserved, but sometimes the soccer gods find a way to even things up. Williams with it. Down low to Tavernisi. Silva will come way out. Williams back to Montoleras. Down low for Tavernisi. Santana knocks it away. Hughes tries to keep it alive at the midfield line. Williams takes down Pereira and is whistled. Tonight for Florida. And the third one taken off the board in that third quarter. Ball through to Gonzalez in front, looking for Thompson. Silva saw that one come. Shots on goal in this game, 31-19 favoring the Tropics. Espinal collides with Hughes. Benavir Espinal played his college ball at Southeastern University nearby here for Coach Clay Roberts. He just had his spring season with the Southeastern Fire conclude last night with a friendly against the University of South Florida. So he's been pulling double duty for a while here. Cabrera with it. Ferdinand. Hughes knocked it back out to Santana. Now back for Hughes. Tavernisi has it taken away by Ferdinand. Tavernisi will take Max down. Tavernisi a little shaken up. Baltimore winning on the road this year just 3 times. 3-6-3 record away from the CQ Arena. Tropics 8-2-2 here at home this year. One of the better away teams in the East. Not that that's saying a lot. The Tropics winning 4 times on the road this year, including once in Baltimore. None of that matters now. 6 minutes to go in a tie game. Donatelli gets it over to Obasi. Tropics trying to pressure and create a turnover maybe. Vandegrift sends it ahead for Carvalho. Carvalho 2 against 4 here and has it knocked away from behind. It was math that just wasn't going to work very well for the Tropics, and Varela going to be called for the takedown on Obasi there. Tropics were kind of in a line change there, and they'll complete it now. Baltimore with most of the possession here over the last 3 or 4 minutes. Tropics need to turn that table somehow. Ruggles whistled, and going to be called for the penalty. So there you go. And the challenge flag's going to come out here from Clay Roberts, who doesn't believe it should be a penalty, but for the moment, Drew Ruggles is going to head to the box. Yeah, kind of could see that coming as well.
To number 16, Drew Ruggles. The call will be challenged.
Well, we'll see what the review will bring. The Tropics lost a goal on a review here in the 3rd quarter. And let's see if they'll keep the penalty intact or not on Ruggles. Comes with 5:19 to go. Not sure how good an angle we'll have on this. It was kind of near the near boards where it might be hard to actually see the contact. Not sure. It's one of those odd spots that the camera doesn't always pick up. And the blue card will stand. So the Tropics will go a man down here. They do have the best penalty kill unit in the league, but the Blast have a good power play at 47%, so basically 1 out of every 2. Tropics kill 3 out of every 4. They'll send out Tabernisi, Mike Jones, Lucas Monolaris, and Chad Vandegrift. Donatelli out there with Roque, Gonzalez. I believe that's Mello up top. Donatelli thought about letting it fly. Back to Donatelli now, and Mello has it.
Tropics fans, let's make some noise for our defense.
Donatelli, Mello. Knocked away by Jones. Donatelli with it. Down low to knocked away by Monolaris. Roque with it. Down low again to Pereira. Donatelli thought about teeing it up. Donatelli with it again. Roque gonna take it. Nope, gonna pass to Donatelli, and then it's deflected out of there by Monolaris. 59 seconds to go in the man advantage. Baltimore's first power play of the night.
Tropics fans, let's help him out. Defense.
Here's Donatelli going to tee it up. Silva with a big save. Rebound goal. Rebound came out right to Roque, and he blasts it home with 4:13 to go. And Baltimore has its first lead of the game. Power play goal for Roque. Silva made the good save, but nice lazy volley there that Roque had it on a tee, and he made no mistake. It's his 31st goal of the year. So the Tropics have 4:10 left in which to try and get an equalizer. Monolaris ahead to Pereiras. Takeaway there. Ahead to Ferdinand. Silva going to come off his line, makes a good play. And there's a blue card. So Pereira going to be called, and the Tropics will get their third power play of the night. We'll see if 3 is a charm for Florida with the man advantage.
A blue card has been assessed to number 22 in the blast for kicking.
It was Pereiras that was taken down. Kicking is the call. So the Tropics with 3:47. The last power play, really neither have been great. Can't think of one really good chance that the Tropics had on the previous 2 man advantages. Definitely going to need to be more urgent, better, quicker passes, better movement off the ball, all those things that you need with the man advantage. And Clay Roberts has taken a timeout to talk things over. So it gives us a chance to thank our primary sponsor here. And here we go. Carvalho.
All right, Tropics fans, let's make some noise.
Pereiras. Now to Diegues.
Power play.
Chasing on top, that's Josh Hughes for Baltimore.
Come on, Tropics fans, you can do better than that.
Pereiras with it.
Some noise.
Far side to Ruggles. Back to Carvalho. Down to Ruggles. Ruggles, Carvalho. Trying to chip it in front. Manzella going to be able to take that one out of midair, and Baltimore will kill some clock here. Minute 12 to go in the man advantage. Pereiras. Dantas. Pereiras. Gets it down to Ruggles. Carvalho with it. Tried to catch Venzela on the short side there. William would have none of it. 40 seconds to go in the man advantage. Quick restart for the Tropics. Pereiras. Villegas. Carvalho with it. Not a good inlet by, here's Villegas, and boy, that's the chance the Tropics were looking for, and Ricardo missed it by a mile. 21 seconds to go in the man advantage. 2:08 to play in the game. Baltimore looking to take a 1-0 series lead. Game 2 tomorrow in Baltimore. 6:05 start on Twitch. Be the only game in the MASL tomorrow. Monaleris will bring it back. Just 12 seconds to go in the man advantage. Ruggles in not any huge hurry. Carvalho, sixth attacker on. Vandegrift. Pereira back on the floor. So the Tropics still with a man advantage, but look out here. Steal for Baltimore. They've got an open net, and that's going to be a blue card. And that'll probably seal the deal for the Tropics as Carvalho's going to head to the box. Boy, it just has not been a great half for the Tropics. They played very well in the first half. Just, frankly, have been pretty sluggish here in the second. Well, they've won 4 in a row in Baltimore, so they're going to need to make it 5 and then 6 probably. Baltimore will have the man advantage for the remainder of the ball game with just 1:39 to go. Tropics do not have a shorthanded goal this year. Silva will lay it off to Monaleris. Baltimore may not even take a shot here. They just will run as much clock as they possibly can. Possession is more important than a goal here if you're the Blast. 1:11 to play. Pereira gets it ahead to Gonzalez. In front, there's a shot and a goal. Jonatas Mello with the dagger. And time will run out on the Tropics here tonight in Lakeland with less than a minute now to go in the ball game. That'll send people scurrying to the exits. Not that it's impossible to get 2 goals in 59 seconds, but unlikely. Ruggles will put on the 6th attacker jersey here. Carvalho back into the Baltimore zone. Gonzalo with a save and then cleared by Santana. This will be a top of the arc restart. Tropics haven't had a lot of those tonight. If there was ever a time to convert, this would be it. 48 seconds to go.
Tropics fans, we're in striking distance. Somebody scream!
Carvalho gets it down low. Dantas tried to, or rather Oliveira tried a little back heel to no avail. Dantas now in there with Oliveira. Santana tried to get it out of there, and we're going to review something here. No idea what. May have been a handball, maybe. I don't know.
There will be a review for a possible defensive handball.
Comes with 36 seconds to play. Oh yeah, there you go. Problem for the Tropics is a bunch of time ran off the clock after that. Now the arm was definitely away from the body there. Kind of hard to call it intentional, but because his back was to the play, but this might go the Tropics' way. We'll see. It would be a penalty kick, I think, for the Tropics if they get the call. The other question is, do they put time back on the clock? And I think they may need to look at that. I'm not sure if the replay has the time clock on it or not. So perhaps a sliver of light here for Florida. I think they are going to get the call, and I think what they're doing now is deciding how much time to put on the clock. You can see Ryan Sigich actually looking at his watch to figure out how much play time had elapsed. So I think they're going to, I think saw him say maybe 46 seconds. It came right after the penalty, so, or after the clear, top of the arc restart. And so they are going to put time back on the clock, and I do think it will be a penalty kick. It is a blue card, and it will be a penalty kick. So the Tropics will get a good scoring chance here, obviously. I believe it'll be a penalty kick. They're going to call it, they're actually going to call it outside the box. So that's a break for Baltimore. I mean, literally can't be any farther, any closer to the box than it is. So the Tropics will obviously play with a sixth attacker as well. Ruggles will wear that jersey. They do put about 13 seconds back on the clock. So it's at 49 seconds. Ruggles will do the honors here. And it's a goal. Found a little space, and the Tropics do in fact get a power play goal on their fourth power play of the game, but it is too little too late. Tough for Baltimore to defend something that close with two extra players on the floor, and credit Ruggles for finding a little daylight there. So Baltimore will look to kill the final 46 seconds as Arico goes down, and this will be a corner kick for Baltimore. So more precious time will come off the clock. To the right of Hugo Silva. Not quite a corner kick, but for all practical purposes, it is one. 43 seconds, so we've played 6 seconds since the goal. Only a half second ticked off on that restart. Waiting for the Tropics to get everyone out there they want out there. Okay with it. Ruggles gonna try and control it, gets to Silva. Long outlet to Oliveira. Reno will play it off the boards. It'll belong to the Tropics, and it should be not going to be a top of the arc restart, but it will be a kick in from the far boards. Still 30 seconds to play.
Come on, fans, let's get on our feet because we're in striking distance.
Victor Pereiras now with the extra attacker jersey. Carvalho off the boards in front looking for Ruggles. Crew can't find it. Baltimore trying to clear the zone, almost came to Dantas in front. Now Pereiras with it. 20 seconds to go. Victor loses it, and that might do it. Victor going to be called for the penalty, no doubt about that. And that will end any hopes the Tropics have of a last-second heroic comeback. Unhappy ending for this night for the captain, Victor Pereiras. And unhappy for Tropics fans everywhere, but they'll tee it up again tomorrow in Baltimore. Don't forget that's a 6:05 Eastern start. Only game in town in the MASL tomorrow night. Tropics will hope to win that one and force the 15-minute knockout game. Tall order, but as we said, they've won 4 in a row at CQ Arena. So if there's any team that knows the secret sauce when they're on the road against Baltimore, it would be the Tropics. But going to need to play better than they played here in the second half tonight. Baltimore just going to run the clock out here, and that will do it. The final here in Lakeland, Baltimore wins it by a score of 4-3. A little bit of a scrum in the corner afterwards. Just need to separate everybody and be on their way to Housen, Maryland tomorrow night for Game 2 of the series.
Fans, we want to thank you for attending today's matchup and thank you for your support all season long. And a special thanks to our game sponsor, Bond Clinic.
So Baltimore wins it by a final of 4-3. Tropics outshoot the Blast 36-25. Jonatas Mello gets what turns out to be the game winner with 59 seconds to go. Ruggles scoring just 11 seconds after that on the restart, but not enough. Time runs out on the Tropics here, and maybe time running out on the 2022-23 season, but as we said, that's why you play the game, and the Tropics will go into CQ Arena as we still have some little scuffling going on the floor here.
We will have an autograph session down at the center field logo. That will take place in about 10 minutes. Again, an autograph session.
Ryan Sigich in the center of that to keep the peace, hopefully. And I think everyone is under control now, happy to say. So Baltimore takes a 1-0 lead in the series. Game 2 tomorrow night in Baltimore. Tropics will need to win that and then the knockout game as well to advance to the conference finals. The final, once again, Baltimore 4 and Florida 3 on behalf of the crew from GT Sports, including Gary, Mike, Ben, and the gang. We appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate their great work all season long. And who knows, maybe we'll be back here, maybe not. But it's been a lot of fun, and we appreciate all of you who have been along for the ride this year, and let's hope it continues. Baltimore 4, Florida 3. We'll see you tomorrow night in Baltimore. You've been watching the 2023 Ron Newman Cup Playoffs on